Hey guys, came for 15, back at it with another video for you guys, back with another WWE video for you guys. Geez Louise, it's been a while, It's funny enough. I'm too damn lazy to not post my damn Elimination Chamber shit, but that's too bad. So hopefully, and I mean hopefully, whenever I do my WrestleMania recap, probably with my Uncle Daryl, I'm actually gonna post that to the damn video. Sometimes I get home, even though I get home from work pretty early, and then on top of it, I also have another channel, which is my main channel. Keep forgetting. Oh, that's right. I got my sports channel too. But WWE is always in the news for good things and everything and stuff like that. And yeah. And the number one big thing that's been going on in WWE since the Elimination Chamber was John Cena turning heel, aka becoming a bad guy. And John Cena yesterday, well, as this recording on Tuesday, had basically his first promo since the Elimination Chamber, and it's his first promo as a bad guy, realistically, in 20 plus years, because he was a bad guy early on as the Doctor of Thugonomics, but this is his ultimately like his first bad guy evil promo we've gotten since ever, really. But it was interesting to say the least, and I enjoyed it. I know the entire community as a whole. There's people that loved it. There are people that hated it, mostly from the standpoint it didn't get them what they wanted. Um, and that's kind of myriad in certain things, like, oh well, he didn't talk about the championship. He didn't bring up why he attacked Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber and why he sided with The Rock. He didn't bring that up. Or there were other people that were upset that he didn't have a new look. He came out looking exactly like the same old John Cena we've been knowing for the past how many years of his career, and he didn't change anything up. Even I thought like he would be different. He would come out, change shit up, and come out differently. But no, he kind of like, funny enough, John Cena kind of basically mentioned it in the promo. He's like, y'all don't deserve this shit. So yeah. But what are my thoughts on the John Cena heel promo in Belgium last night on Monday Night Raw? It was freaking phenomenal. It was great, man. It was great. Yeah, I understand. I do wish that maybe he had a rebuttal to what Cody said at the end of the promo, calling him a whiny bitch. And I do wish that Cena had brought up like why he turned, why he aligned with The Rock. But again, we got WrestleMania coming in like 3 or 4 weeks. I think in 4 or 5 weeks, right? And then he's gonna be on freaking Monday Night Raw, excuse me, next week. So next week, that's when I'm going to hope that he gives the answer. This is why I ended up working with The Rock. And hopefully he has a back and forth with Cody, um, and everything, right? But I enjoyed the promo. It was great. And it was honestly surreal to see. This man, after all this time, when he would always come out and thank the fans for supporting him and being there for him and everything, despite all the boos and stuff like that, to see him be the dude that is now like, nah, fuck y'all guys. You guys screwed me over. You guys used me and did all this hurtful stuff and it affected me and things like that. It was like surreal to see him do that after all these freaking years. But let's start with it. So he comes out, and I'm just like, okay, what is he coming out to? He's gonna come out to a new theme because people were thinking like, oh, he's gonna come out to Basic Thugonomics or maybe one of his album songs, or maybe even the rumored bad guy song that he could have used if when he was supposed to turn heel back in 2020 in 2012, um, after losing to The Rock at WrestleMania 28. Um, no, we just get the Time Is Now song. He comes out in his Brussels John Cena freaking Last Time Is Now gear and everything. And he looks like John Cena, we've been knowing, just different attitude. He doesn't talk to the cameraman. He says nothing. The cameraman kind of just moves off to the side. He brings up the towel, sticks to the towel, and he walks to the ring. He doesn't run to it. He walks the ring. And the crazy part is, as the song is going on, as he's walking, the crowd is literally chanting, John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. I'm just like, bro, what? He gets to the ring, met with a chorus of boos. And every time he tries to leave, the crowd gets louder. But then he comes back and then he starts talking. And basically, the basic part of the promo is he's blaming the fans for basically using him and basically lying to him all this time about their support and their praise for him, and basically kind of called the fans out for all the stuff that they done to him, all the way they treated him over the 20 years of his career. And honestly, you look at the promo, he's not wrong with what he fucking said. Like, there is a part of the promo he brings up, he's like, look, you know, when I first came here, you hated me. When I then rediscovered myself, you know, I got liked a bit. And then when I changed a bit again, y'all started going back to hating me again. And what he meant by that is when he first got into WWE, when he did the ruthless aggression stuff, nobody really cared about that John Cena. Like, that John Cena was literally going to be fired if he didn't come up with something. So then that's what led to the basic Thuganomics character. That's what got fans back in the day really on the John Cena character, and they loved the John Cena character for it. Well, because of that character. And then that's when and then after that, he kind of had a little bit in the middle, like 2000 era, a little bit of base of the Dr. Thuganomics, but mostly starting to turn into the character he was, right? And then around that middle part of like the middle 2000s, basically going on to like the 2010s, which was realistically like 2000 up to like maybe 2015, 16-ish, right? Um, that's when you got the hustle, loyalty, respect John Cena type of thing. And that's when he mentioned, like, then you people hated me again. And that's because of the Super Cena stuff. Now, I didn't start getting into WWE till like 2010, 2011, when it was like Pete, what people called him Super Cena, right? Now, I was always a John Cena fan. Even as I started to grow older, like, I never disliked the guy or anything. So maybe it's because I, never watched back and, you know, like on across his come up and seen a good stuff. Like, I only saw like still deep in his freaking prime of his career, but realistically, like the back end of his prime and of his career, or a little bit of the middle of it to the back end and everything, right? So I never really disliked it, but I know there were people, and there's a lot of people even on the wrestling community that hated John Cena because all he did, like he said in his promo, is he said he won, he won, he won, he won, he won. And it got to the point for them, it got predictable. And they got sick and tired of it because it's like, we want to see these other guys, these other wrestlers at the time get these good pushes. But then, of course, John Cena comes in. Oh, great. Here he comes again. We already know what's going to happen by the end of the night. He's going to be winning, right? And everything, and people really, and that was a turn off to people, right? And it was kind of the typical thing of Vince McMahon at the time, forcing somebody down your throat when objectively he should have pushed them back a bit and should have said, okay, you can still be a main player, but let's not make you so consistently a main player to where you're getting the crowd, sick and tired of you, right? That's what happened eventually later down the line with Roman Reigns. So many fans got tired of Roman Reigns being forced down people's throats. It got sick and tiring with it until eventually he changed into the tribal chief version of Roman Reigns, and people started to love him and everything, right? Um, and basically the same thing could be said about John Cena. People didn't like him, like liked him early on in his basic dominonics type of stuff, and then eventually started to get tired of him. And they're like, all right, can we stop? And then it even got people to the point where like they just stopped watching entirely because they were sick and tired of John Cena. And that was the thing that John Cena made a mention of, which he's not freaking lying. you know, he said like y'all hated me when I first got here, then you liked me for a bit. And then guess what? I keep working my ass off and keep doing all these good things and I keep winning and everything. And guess what? You guys freaking hate me. Why? Why do I deserve this crap? After everything I've done for you people and everything that I stood by, y'all people still freaking treated me harshly and rudely and never gave me the respect that I truly deserved, right? You know, and it's true. That is true. People do not like John Cena and they hated him. They booed him. You mostly had the women and the children doing the cheering, but the adult men, they were like, man, fuck this guy. We don't want to see this. Do we want to see somebody else, right? And they gravitated towards that type of, and they didn't want that. That was a turnoff to them. And then obviously in his later years, when he started to be, somewhat semi full time, but mostly getting to the part time stuff. That's when now you have some WB fans or some podcasters now who weren't fans of Cena in his like prime run, right? They started to like him a bit more because they're like, okay, now I'm taking every moment we get of John Cena for granted. On top of it, he was actually letting others shine. Yeah, every now and then he would get wins. That was mostly around like 2016, 2017, 2018. But when he started to go away because he was doing the movie stuff and he would come back, he would typically do things for the betterment of the company. He'd start putting the younger talent over and doing what he can to help the business and everything, right? And that started to give people more appreciation, especially in the limited amount of chances we would then see him, right? So, you just have it right then and there. But he basically like blames the fans in a way of being in a toxic relationship of saying, like, I did all this, all that, but then guess what? I bled, I sweat, I freaking cried my tears for this damn company to gain your guys' respect. And then what do I get for it? I get hate for it because you didn't freaking like me for working my ass off. And he even goes and say like, look, the codes that I live by, hustle, loyalty, respect, the never give up. He's like, those are literally me incarnate, and he even talks about like how, when he points out to the crowd, he's like, see, you wear my shirt because you try to be me. You think it only is going to empower you to be like me. No, it doesn't. It just makes you show your pathetic excuse of a freaking life that you ain't got nothing better to do and you just sit on your couch and do nothing, right? While I'm over here, I actually put in the hard work, I actually put in the effort. I did all this shit, and what do I get for it? Absolute nothing. I just get hate, 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 hate. And he even pointed out that one kid who people are making memes of and everything. He even said like that kid's in a fucking toxic relationship. I'm just like, God damn. This man was going off. He was legitimately venting. And honestly, everything he said was true. And he had complete right to vent on the fans for that because where are the lies? Where are the lies? The man did everything known to frickin' man in the company. And you would think in real world terms, you did everything you possibly could. It's like working for a business, right? You've done everything you properly could. You towed the line. You were a great company dude. You did everything that enhanced the company, right? But you still don't get the respect or the liking from other coworkers that you feel like you deserve. Like you'll have people talking behind your back saying like, well, this guy probably like freaking is the boss's favorite and everything and stuff like that. Even though you do all this hard work and you put the time and effort in, and people really truly do see you're actually working your ass off, people ultimately see, or are people still disliking you for it. And that was the point of John Cena's promo of like saying like, you just use me as your toy. The next big thing until you're ready to dispose of me and everything. And I wonder if that's also going to be a part of where the story is going to go with Cody Rhodes as well. Um, and everything. Also, he did address the whole fact of like, he kind of broke the fourth wall. He talks about him being not a baby face or not a heel. He says, I'm just a human being, and you basically hurt this human being after all the words you said about me. And then on top of it, the reason he gives a pretty good valid reasoning as to why he ain't changing shit up. He said, "Why should I freaking change? Like, why should I change this? Why should I change my theme music with my with me singing with me singing the song, right? That's my voice on my song. You think you're gonna get this whole you thought you were gonna get this different me, right? No, that would be too easy. I would be giving you more shit for you to use and suck me dry again, right? No, 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 no. I'm not gonna do that. That's why should I do that when I'm just gonna be who I've always been? But guess what? Now it's more validation when you go to the team store and you buy my merch. Guess what? You're leeching off of me, off of my success and everything that I've basically built, right? And everything. So, yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty damn good excuse of saying, like, why the fuck do I have to like why do I have to give you the hip cool thing, right? You thought I was gonna do all this different shit. You thought I was gonna come out to a different song, wearing different gear and stuff like that. You thought I was gonna change everything up. Nah, that would only encourage you to even that would only encourage you to basically sucker me up again, right? And on top of it too, it's gonna put more hate on John Cena because a lot of people, like I made a mention, they didn't like some people didn't like the fact that he wasn't looking different. He didn't come out in like maybe a black outfit or get a different look or his song wasn't different. Some people didn't like that and they thought that took away for whatever reason, even though Cena gave you the exact reason why. Because if he had changed it up, people would have actually maybe cheered a little bit more. And they want John Cena to get basically, excuse me, hated, right? They want him to be hated, where fans are booing him 24/7, right? So that's what is happening there. Now, where I think the story is going to go is I think a part of it is obviously the 17 thing, going after 17. And I hope they bring that up in Scotland next week. Um, right? Where him and Cody have another confrontation because Cody eventually comes out. Cody talks about how, you know, when you won the Elimination Chamber, I was excited to fight John Cena. But then hearing you now, I'm not excited to fight John Cena. And he basically tells John Cena, like, listen, man, at Mania, you better find who the real John Cena is. Because if you don't, and gonna be this whiny John Cena crybaby self, well then I'm gonna run basically through you, basically quote unquote saying he's gonna bury him, right? Um, and he basically called John Cena a whiny bitch, and he just basically left, right? Also, John Cena called him a kid, and then you know Cody Rhodes is like, "I'm not a kid. You're calling me WWE champion now, right?" Even though Cody's like 40 years old, basically. So, regardless, but even then, Cena's older than him, so he has a right to call him kid, right? He's still fairly, but regardless, that's the thing, right? And Cody wants John Cena to find the real John Cena, go back to the old John Cena, not this John Cena. But I think they're gonna start bringing up the title stuff and everything, and hopefully maybe next week, whether it's instigated by Cody, maybe Cody tells him like, "That's great and all. Why did you side with The Rock? Actually, I forgot to mention that too. Where's your boy? Where's The Rock? Where's Travis Scott?" And then hopefully that's when Cena can get into get into the whole thing of everything and get on to the crux of why he sided with The Rock and everything. But I think the thing where it could go, where it seems like the story, at least a part of it is basically, and I think Cena can make a mention of this in his promo next week with Cody. It's saying like, you see, Cody, you told me to find the real John Cena, right? Guess what? I was the real John Cena. What you saw the last 20 years, that was me. And guess what? I did all that, and this crowd, these fans still hated me for that, right? And I think that's going to be a thing. And he mentioned in his promo yesterday, he talked about being a toy. And I could see it to where he could tell Cody, like, listen, man. Because eventually, I could see where down the road, Cody maybe goes heel at some point. Because right now, Cody is like the current John Cena. He is beloved, actually beloved, probably more beloved in his prime more than Cena was, right? And here's the thing that Cena could use. He could be like, look, man, you know the reason why I said I was a toy and why I said last week you're their new toy? Because this is what they're going to do to you. They're going to love you up. They're going to praise you so much. And then when they're done with you and they're going to voice your opinions on you, and then they stop cheering you, they're going to be done with you. Even though you put in so much time and you put in so much effort to become the champion, and you did all these things for these people. And then guess what? These people are just going to turn your back on you. They're going to turn their back on you when they get sick and tired of you. And I think that's what Cena's going to eventually say. Like, it's going to be a part of it saying, you don't get it, Cody. You don't get it, Cody. This is why you're still a kid. You think these fans adore you. Yeah, they adore you now. But then when you try to continue on and you go and continue winning and winning and winning, they'll eventually get tired of you because guess what? They'll want a new toy. And when they're done with the old toy, they'll make it clear. And then you'll understand how I'm feeling, right? And then that's when Cena can tie it into the 17. And he's like, you know what I'm going to do? And that's see, and I hope when they bring it to 17 and they bring out the champion, John Cena's like, listen, my time is now, which he said in the promo. He's like, I need to come back and get this thing for my own personal reasons, but also too to show that I'm not going to be a toy to these people when I lift that champion above my head, that championship above my head. And what better way to talk to? And I can see it to where he says, like, what better way to understand the people than the people's champion, The Rock, right? So it's the thing that it can turn into all sorts of things right then and there. I'm still of the belief that John Cena should win the championship and everything and stuff like that. Now, I do hope in Scotland, Glasgow, Scotland, they get John Cena his lick back. Because I know people are saying like, "Oh man, Cody Rhodes toasted Cena, calling him a bitch essentially for everything." Um, okay, fine, yeah, that's the thing. But I hope in Scotland, Cena gets his lick back, whether that's in the form of an attack, like a backstage attack. Because after Cody Rhodes said that, Cena looked at him like this looked like he it got under his skin and it pissed him off, right? So whether we start Raw off with an attack and then Cena comes out saying like, well, 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 Cody, blah 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 blah, right? But I could see it to where maybe next week goes into a brawl. They talk, and then maybe Cody or maybe John Cena does something or says something that elicits a brawl, right? So we'll see, but I do hope Cena gets his lick back against Cody. I think he needs to, because right now Cody, to his defense, has been kind of dominating him on the mic, even in the absence. But see, I think next week needs to be the week where John Cena gets his lick back and tells Cody, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, kiddo, you don't get it, do you? You don't get it. You haven't been through what I've been through." And I do hope they tie is like, you know, the words never give up. You see, I didn't give up. You know, back in my heyday when I was about to get fired, I changed. I didn't give up. I found every nook and cranny to keep my job. What about you? Oh, wait, you gave up. You left to go elsewhere and go wrestle elsewhere, and you come back bigger than before. But you did that because you quit on this place years ago. See, I think that's something Cena could bring up. You know, he doesn't have to indirectly mention like AEW or any of the other places that Cody wrestled in, right? You know, John Cena could say legitimately is like, I remember you quitting this company, going to go make a name for yourself. That's all admirable. Great, great, great. But you still quit on this place. But guess what? I never did. Oh, well, then did you quit on this place because who are you? You were Stardust? That would be a cold ass line if he says that. So Or if he just goes on the mention, he's like, all right, did you quit because you were tired of being a carbon copy of your older brother? Again, like I said, regardless, I know Cody fans are probably like, oh, he cooks. I'm telling you, man, Cena could get Cody back that easily, right? That easily. And I expect him, hopefully, next week to get the leg back. And that's what I expect next week. Talk about The Rock, talk about the championship. And we can get to the meat and grind and have that back and forth Cody Cena promo. That, hey, that's the thing, because Cody on Monday night didn't even let Cena speak. So Cody said what he needed to say, and then he left. Cena never even got a rebuttal. So next week Cena's gonna get his rebuttal, and he's gonna be using the entire week to think about what he's going to say. And when he says it, who knows what could happen? Who knows what could happen? So yeah, it will also be interesting. When is The Rock gonna show up and rear his head into this whole situation? So we get Rock and Cena standing side by side giving a promo together. Because that's also another domino that needs to drop. Where the hell is The Rock? When is he gonna show up on Raw or SmackDown or whenever the next appearance is? And when are we gonna see him stand by John Cena? Because that's another aspect of the story that needs to make sense. These two damn legends, these two iconic rivals. You know, that's the thing. Like, just to imagine Cena talking to The Rock and saying, years ago I criticized you for leaving this company. And now I truly understand why you left this company. Because these people didn't give a crap about you. Yeah, you came back all these times and they loved you. But then you came back so you could have a match with your freaking cousin, and that man Cody took it all away from you. Well, guess what? I know what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to make sure I'll make it up to you for what he did last year. I'm going to take away that damn championship that he so pleasantly owns. So that's another domino that's going to drop with the Rock situation. It's going to be interesting to see where the story goes. I'm looking forward to next Monday night on Raw in Scotland to see where Cena is going to take the promo now and take the character now. And this only is going to make things even better when he interacts with other. No, he's just interacting with Cody. Just imagine when he eventually interacts with freaking CM Punk or Randy Orton. They have even more of enough say to say, I know that ain't the real you, man. After all this damn time, now, you called us out after all this time saying we didn't give a frick about the fans. Now you're saying you didn't give a crap. See, out of those two dudes, they have more than anybody else to say. But even those promos are going to be heated. Like, I could just imagine if whenever Cena and Randy get together, I bet you Cena's going to pull the card like, guess what, Randy? You remember when you kicked my dad? None of these fans gave a shit about me or didn't give a shit about my dad. So why the hell should I care? And you put my dad in the IR or the ER. So yeah, this has so much potential to go wherever it is. I do have Cena winning the WrestleMania match, and I think he's gonna cheat to win. It's gonna be the thing of, and Cody made the mention in the promo yesterday saying like, see, you beat me pretty bad, but you didn't take me out for good. And I feel like what's going to happen in the match is this. The reason why John Cena's win at Mania was going to be tainted for that 17th championship is the fact that Cody Rhodes is going to live by what he said last night. He's going to do everything in his power to keep, fighting back and resisting, and he's not going to go down. He's going to take all of Cena's best shots. What we'll see is we'll get the best of John Cena. John Cena will be wrestling like he old John Cena. Well, obviously not because he's older, but he's gonna bring out that John Cena, right? That John Cena, that big match of John that's gonna come out and do whatever to and everything. But the thing is, Cody's gonna keep fighting back, and then that's when Cena's gonna use a heel tactic, a cheap way to win, so he can get over the edge, and then he'll take the championship from Cody. So yeah, but hey, if they make Cena win fair and square, shit, I'd be actually shocked, right? Where it's the type of thing where it's like, you thought you were ready, kiddo, but you were not. Because guess what? I'm still that guy. But I think Cena's going to win by cheap means at WrestleMania. But if he were to win fair and square and quote unquote bring out that John Cena that Cody Rhodes was talking about, that's the thing. And also, I think that's the thing that's going to also be kind of Cody's downfall. Instead of doing what needs to be done, even though he said he's going to bring Cena to an early retirement, he's on all the shots he's taken at Cena. It's only going to motivate Cena to want to whip his ass and beat him. So that's the thing. But overall, I enjoyed the promo. It's going to be interesting to see where we go next week for Monday night. I'll be shocked if they're going to start the show off with Cody and Cena again. Um, or if they're just going to make us wait to the end. We'll see. I also did find it funny how Michael Cole is now hating on John Cena. I wonder if we'll ever get a moment between John Cena where maybe next week John Cena talks to Cole and mentions like, "Hey Michael, I heard what you said about me. After all these years, you always called me the greatest of all time, the GOAT. And now, because I just said what I felt, now you hate me?" And realistically, Cena could be like, "These people never helped me win these championships. When did these people help me win the championships? No, if correct me if I'm wrong, I'm the guy that won these 16 championships. None of these damn people had nothing to do with it. Were they wrestling my opponent? No. These people didn't make me a big movie star. I made myself the big movie star." Cena could do again. It's so surreal, and obviously the story is going to be throughout this course of the heel run, especially after every opponent he goes up against. They're going to basically tell him, "John, this ain't you. I don't know why you're saying this. I don't know what the hell happened with you to become this." But it's going to be the story of him saying he hates the fans only to slowly but surely, as time goes on, go back to his old self and realize what he did was wrong. And even though, despite, even in his prime, people hated him and everything, right? You know, he's going to realize, yeah, those people may have hated me, but I know for every person that hated me, there was a kid out there in that crowd that believed in me. And and by them, they felt like if they put on a John Cena shirt, they lived by the words hustle, loyalty, and respect. And they believed in me, which because of it, it gave them belief. And eventually, he'll be back to be a good guy. And when it's his last night, you know, when he obviously is a good guy, that's going to make it to where people are going to love him, and they're going to not. It's being the opposite of what we had in Brussels. The entire stadium is going to be cheering him and saying, "Thank you, Cena. Thank you, Cena." Right? And then that's when you get the emotional John Cena. Probably gives one more promo where he probably says, like, "That shit I said in the summertime, I truly regret what I said. I'm sorry." And then, you can have him right off into the sunset for good and everything. And then obviously, again, like I said, and maybe that's even when, before, as he's walking away from the ramp, you can have that moment to where him and Cody meet up one last time. He probably apologizes to Cody for the shit he did and the shit he said. They shake hands, they probably embrace in a hug, and then in that weird way, that shaking of the hand is the passing the torch of saying, "You're the guy now. Take the company into better, take the company into a better place than where I left it, and even do better than what I did, and make it to where these people don't see you as a generic toy. They continue to love you and everything." And that's where he can walk away into the sunset knowing he left the WWE in good hands after being a wrestler, right? So that's the thing. That's where the story is gonna. That's where his story is gonna build up. His build up is gonna be him coming out like a good guy, and then him having this evil arc, and then him realizing slowly but surely this is not the way that he needs to be. And then by the end of it, it's going to culminate into this big moment where you probably won't hear no more boos going forward. It's going to be the entire stadium erupting in cheers, applaud, thank yous, and everything, and stuff like that. Because it's going to be the whole thing of like, even though in your prime people did not like you, they're going to appreciate and thank you for what you've done at the end of the day for this business, right? So yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. And when that final night's gonna happen, trust me, I'll probably be crying tears of damn joy. I'm gonna be like, fuck. So yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna get over, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, and hit that subscribe button if you want to get more WWE content or any other more sports content. I upload to the channel. So then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night or whenever you watch this video. So then, guys, peace.